Welcome, beautiful you, to this week's seed on rituals. So what are rituals? Well, let's define it first. A ritual can be defined as a ceremony in which the actions and wording follow a prescribed form and order. So what and how are we going to define ritual and rituals for the purposes of the Find Your Shine journey? Well, for our purposes, we are going to define ritual as a set of practices that we consistently follow that keep us at a high state of energy and vitality. So this in turn affects our ongoing state. So rituals are what we have in place that support us staying on the path, our why, that supports our ultimate vision. It's those things we have in place that really nurture us. So here's how I kind of look at breaking rituals down. So examples of them include exercise, meditation or mindfulness, nutrition, practicing appreciation and gratitude. I add doing your created future play, all that work or play that we did in our plant section. And on a regular basis, scheduling play into our calendars and schedules. Now, there's another one that we will deal with in a later seed, but I also include acts of service, acts of kindness in our set of rituals. So why are rituals important? Well, as I've said, we create our rituals to support us on our path to our why, to our purpose, to our vision, to our values. So a magnificent set of rituals is what we want to assimilate into our life weekly, if not daily. It is what supports who we are at the most essential level. If you get anything from this journey together, it's that to live out in a, fulfilling, nurturing way, to have a life that sings, you got to have a set of great rituals in place. So let's walk through each one of the rituals and why they're important. And we'll start with exercise. You know at this point, or I'm sure you will know, that exercise is important to your health. As a personal trainer, as a former personal trainer for years, I could go on and on about this topic, but that is a subject matter for another course. Just suffice to say that exercise is just foundational to affecting your state. Look, you can't stay in a bad mood after a run. You can't stay in a bad mood after a great workout. It's just too much that occurs physiologically. And that's why exercise is so important. Besides your heart health and all the other reasons, for the purposes of our conversation, exercise is fundamental to keeping you in a vital and energetic state. And that's where we need to be to fulfill our mission, vision, and purpose. So why mindfulness and meditation? Well, the fastest way we know now to impact our psychology and our mental well-being is to develop a practice of mindfulness or meditation. So it can be as simple as having an open-eyed practice where you're just present, you're just present to the wonders, how I refer to it. Or you can do an actual ritual of meditation. You close your eyes, you do what we do in this course, in the Simply Being exercises, which are located in the Bloom section, where you're just present to your breath. You could do a guided meditation. The point is to have a ritual in this area because it is the fastest way to impact our psychology. All right, let's move on to nutrition. Nutrition is very important. You know that you'd have to be living in a cave somewhere to know that what we put into our bodies actually affects us. The statement we are what we eat is true. The reason why is because it affects our energy, our vitality. If we're eating a lot of junk food, if we're having a lot of sugar, we will be impacted. You know how you know? Well, try it. Try it and you'll see the impact of sugar on your moods, on your energy level. So to get deeply into the topic of nutrition is just like exercise, the subject of another course. We just need to make sure that we're bringing awareness, attunement, and some authenticity to the way that we eat. So the practice of gratitude and appreciation, they call it the attitude of gratitude. It's really been talked about more recently as a ritual. People talk about, I think it was Oprah who really kind of brought it to the forefront that having a gratitude journal next to your bed and writing in that every night really does affect your brain, affects your states, affects your mood. So having a practice of appreciation is highly recommended at this stage. And they've done the research to show that appreciation or practicing gratitude affects heart attacks. You actually have less heart attacks when you do it. Did you know that if you hold the door for someone, that you're 30% more and they say thank you, you're 30% more likely to develop a relationship with that person. So a lot of the research has been on appreciation and gratitude, and the proof is in that it does affect our state and psychology. So a ritual that I am just passionate about in my work with people is what I call your created future play. So it's that play that you did in the prep section of the Find Your Shine journey, where you worked on what your vision was. You worked on your mission, you got clear about your values. I say that actually putting attention on that clarity, and things can often change. You might want to change the wording, but you have to look at that stuff. You have to look at it. I recommend weekly. If you can't do weekly, monthly. If you can't do monthly, quarterly. But actually having it as a ritual really trains the brain to know that it is important to you. And remember what I've said a few times through our journey is that what you put your brain's attention on, or what you focus on, your brain holds as important, and therefore your energy flows there. So created future play work, crucial as a ritual. I highly recommend creating and carving some time in your schedule for that. And lastly, I want to throw in play as a ritual. This is something that, myself included, I leave out of my inspired day planner. And I have to remember that play really does impact our sense of wonder, our sense of presence. It could be anything from knitting. It could be playing Frisbee with your kids, or my kids, which is one of my favorite things. It could be going for a long walk. Whatever shows up for you as play, you want to actually schedule in your inspired day planner, because it does make a difference to our total sense of well-being, our energy, and our vitality. So how do rituals show up? Well, we're all very busy people, and I don't want to give you more to do in your schedule. So what we're going to kind of go through is how to implement rituals from a very basic level. Now, some of you already have a lot of mastery in certain areas. You're exercising or you're meditating. You're doing some of those rituals on an ongoing basis, and therefore they're habits. But what I'm going to do in this seed is just start from the beginning in each ritual, like you don't have mastery in the area. So I'm going to start kind of from the ground up on how you would implement some of these rituals. And the important part here is I only want you to focus on implementing one, maybe two at a time. Don't try to throw in, all of them into your schedule at once, because then it's just going to show up as overwhelm. The brain is going to kick into avoidance and resistance. So just take this on like you would anything. Just take simple baby steps towards creating more consistent rituals in your life. All right, let's start with exercise. Don't try to, take on too much too soon with it. If you don't currently have a practice of exercise or a ritual of exercise, go ahead and try and walk. Slowly implementing a walking program. So start 10 minutes a day. They have shown that actually 10 minutes a day does make a difference to your health. So start 10 minutes a day and then add slow increments. Maybe you do the following week 15 minutes, the following week 20 minutes. So you're going to slowly add to your exercise routine. If you already have a ritual in this area, then go ahead and focus your efforts on another ritual. So the next one we're going to talk about is meditation, mindfulness. Now, this is a new area. I feel like it's the new area where people feel guilty that they're not doing. I speak to my clients and they say, oh, I know I should be meditating. I know I should be meditating. Well, I don't want it to be another thing you get to feel badly about. I think meditation becomes something that we make such a big thing that we don't even know how to start. So here's a simple tip. In the morning, you've set your alarm, or maybe you don't set your alarm and you just wake up naturally. Try to wake up 10 minutes, even 5 minutes of meditation makes a difference to the brain. 5 to 10 minutes earlier than you usually do. Stay lying flat. If you can, find a guided meditation. There are tons of apps now. You can download things from iTunes where you can get a guided meditation. And you just listen to that guided meditation because you're kind of in a sleep-wake state anyway at that time in the morning. You don't have to sit up. You don't have to go into the lotus position. You can just stay lying flat, listen to the guided meditation, 5 to 10 minutes, and you've done your meditation for the day, and it does make a difference to the brain. Let's move on to your nutrition. It's another area that you might or you may have some mastery in. If you don't try to take on too much too soon with that. All that I'm going to ask you to start with is be mindful. Be present to, when I say be present to the wonder, well, be present to the wonder of what you actually are putting into your mouth. Be present to the apple, be present to your meal. Just bring some presence to it and see if that makes a difference. Most of us are kind of unconscious and we just kind of think we're hungry and we go to the refrigerator and eat. So where I want you to start is just being present. If you want to take it up a notch or, really go for your nutrition, then hire nutritionists, get into a nutrition program, go that route. But if you're really just, really starting out as a focus for a ritual perspective, just be present to what you put into your mouth. The gratitude and appreciation practice. So how do we implement that? Well, if you're a real go-getter and you want to get that gratitude journal and put it next to your bed, and right before you go to sleep, journal those things that you are appreciative of, that you have gratitude for in your day or in your life, that's great. All I do is right before I go to bed, I close my eyes, or I should say right before I go to sleep, I close my eyes and I just access for myself 3 things or 3 experiences or 3 people, whatever it may be, that I have heartfelt appreciation for. Anywhere you start is great. You will really reap the benefits if you just start somewhere. So next is your created future play. So that will be just a continuation of the work or the play you've done in this journey together, in the Find Your Shine journey. Like I said, if you can focus on that at the very least quarterly, your brain will register in your brain that, your mission and your vision are important to you. Therefore, it will send energy. Energy will flow there because it's what your brain's focused on. So having that as a practice and a ritual in your life will absolutely make a difference. So lastly, the last ritual, which I've had to add in my life, is play. And we don't have to, schedule going to a theme park for play. You can do 2 minutes a day. And really, it's those things that bring you joy. If you have children, you want to play with your kids, well, then do that. If you have something that, you just want to have the experience of kind of being your own inner child in your play experience, highly recommend that as a ritual. And you're going to make sure you schedule that in your calendar. So what now? Well, what now is you're going to take your rituals, just like your inspired intended outcomes, in tiny chunks. I just want you to start off with intending some mastery or development if you're starting from the beginning, in 2 areas with 2 rituals. And you're going to go ahead, and even if it's for 5 minutes, if it's 5 minutes of meditation and 5 minutes of walking, or 5 minutes of play and 5 minutes of, being present to your nutrition, you're going to go ahead and schedule that into your calendars. Don't get too serious about it. I want the overall context for your rituals to be that you're having fun while you're doing them. I want them to have a spirit of kind of irreverence and really self-love. If something shows up for you as a should, don't schedule it now. Move to a ritual that, really gives you some energy and vitality, and that actually resonates to or ties to one of your vision or missions or, highest values. So go ahead and have fun with it. I will see you in the next seed, and make sure during the whole process of getting present to rituals in your life, make sure you're present to the wonder of it all.